Oh boy, a whole new world to adventure in. I can't wait to explore Azeroth's depths and see what's in store and how I'll save the world again. What?
Hail, champion! It is me, Thrall. I am here to be buff and green, talk about elements and shit, and be a strong male figure to stand next to Anduin so that shark-mouthed guys on the internet can be mad about how soft he looks in comparison.
Oh, Thrall, that's fine, dude. If you wanna come along, we can pal around. We'll knock this out. Yeah, let's go. Champion, it is me, Jaina Proudmoore. Please, come with me to Dalaran for the fourth time in WoW's history. I know, despite looking like I have tuberculosis, I'm ready to fight. Ah, jeez, this lady. I probably wouldn't brush that off, you know? Not really a medical professional opinion, you being a mage and all, but knock yourself out. Yeah, let's get it. Come on, let's go. Stand behind me, champion, for it is I, Illyria Windrunner, famed huntress, intertwined with the void. My arrows never miss until a cutscene plays, probably. Is that Avril Lavigne? Yeah, Illyria. Oh, yeah. There's still a couple Windrunners running around. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Sure, yeah. I can take a back seat. Let's go. Let's do it, though. Champion, I know the light has left me, but I promise I will not abandon you. Jesus, dude, that is heavy. Hey, man, we're probably just gonna, I don't know, pick up pumpkins and pull weeds in a farm underground somewhere. It's not that serious. Yeah, come on, man. Get up. Fear not, my friend. It is I, Faerun, and my lamplighter brothers and sisters, sent to chase away the shadows, for our light burns brighter than a universe bathed in stars. What?
We've got to save the earthen people.
You know, take candle.
Who the fuck is that guy? We got wax wearing rats now? Jesus, dude, there's so many characters. I'm never gonna be able to bitch on Reddit about being the savior again, dude. Come on.
Don't touch those webs. The Nerubians will.
I know, Bran. I know. Don't step on the web because it spawns a spider that only dies in 3 hits. I get it, dude. Shut up and just go back to throwing Kool-Aid. Fuck, what an adventure. Hey everybody, Delver Double D here. I'm a little under the weather right now, so my voice is a bit shit, but I'm just going to push through because I wanted to make this video. The past few days have been pretty packed, given that an entire new expansion, The War Within for World of Warcraft, just released, and I just want to talk about one thing in particular that seems, kind of unique to this expansion, specifically, and that's talking about the homies in The War Within. And I'm going to focus in on the ones featured at the top of this video, but I want to talk about their experience and what it's like playing with this whole new gang of pals. In previous expansions, like Dragonflight for example, the faces that you interact with are largely from a leadership perspective. They're more so the governing bodies of major factions or pushing plot points and narratives that have overarching themes. They're not going to be running around with you in the moment-to-moment gameplay, so it comes across a lot more like doing their bidding rather than adventuring together with them. And this feels like a departure from that in The War Within. And I think I've got a pretty good read on it now that I've consumed all of the content that's available in the expansion so far.
Oh, nerd alert. Look at this guy. What, you watch cutscenes now? Huh? You like story time? Oh, a little bedtime extravaganza? Get the fuck out of here.
In my previous videos, I've not had any problem shitting on the questing system, the story delivery, the plot hooks, etc. But I'm not really talking about those things or their methods of how they relate to gameplay, more so the context within what is being constructed here overall. Now, I've completed every quest in every available zone, I've done every dungeon, I've done every delve. I have paid attention to the general fantasy vibe that Blizzard is pushing forth in this expansion. Now, I stand by my previous assessment. The questing system is still largely dog shit. Now, kill, fetch, and gather cycles aside, because they're exhausting, we can talk about the in-game cutscenes. Now, these have been appreciated. I like them. They're interesting. They're a good way to deliver small story beats, give some narrative elements that make you pay attention to it outside of quest text and voice lines. But the only caveat is that when you pop out of it and you're dropped back into your UI, and now it just says kill 20 angry dwarves, it kind of feels a little janky and gamey. However, I do think that they're taking a lot of the right steps in the direction for delivery systems to you, and how it feels to play around with these other NPCs that we've known for years now. The War Within, its trajectory seems pretty significantly different, even from Dragonflight in comparison, which they're both the modern era of retail. Overall, I like the increased usage of in-game cinematics. It's a welcome change from the customary right-click, wall of text, voice line heavy exposition dumps that we were used to. And in the case of Dragonflight, you just finish out a zone and then end up with a 2-minute ad break at the end that just features this color of dragon. Do that 5 times, spectacular. So it's nice. Now, there's still a large effort needed to advance these cinematics in the case of the ones that don't have the finer touches for animations, because a lot of the characters just come out with this weird eating ice cream facial expressions that they cycle through, or throwing their limbs randomly, where it doesn't really look like it matches up perfectly to what they're supposed to be doing. It's funny, but it's probably not the best for storytelling purposes. And don't get me wrong, I'm no lore buff, okay? I just welcome this change in pace with the War Within. It feels like a nice departure from what we're used to. And I think a lot of that comes along with the NPCs that we're engaging in these things with. We've known them for years, but now we're actually partying up with them. And there's still goofy shit here and there, and that's welcome because I am a goofy little goblin. The War Within really feels like the Fellowship of Warcraft, where you've got warriors, wizards, rangers, comic relief characters, all of them surrounding you. But not just surrounding you, these are your boys. They're partying up with you. Throughout the campaign, you will routinely find yourself partying up with a member of the Fellowship to tackle some issue, some problem, or maybe it's something that's going on with them. You get to, in some quests, a big emphasis on some quests, you get to take a look under the hood and see how this makes them feel, or how the world is reacting to your presence and your efforts, or maybe some trauma that they're processing. Sometimes it isn't about you. And those brief intervals for actual character development are nice because that character development is, for once, interesting, and it's not about the numbers attached to my gear. Now, Green Jesus and Lady Poutmore don't really have a huge amount of face time in the campaign, but they pop up here and there, and they're present in some side quests as well. And what's interesting about these powerful lore characters is really how on par you feel with them at this point. It really feels like that's been the long game this whole time, is nudging them down and really reining in their power level and maybe building you up enough to where they feel more like, companions rather than superheroes. Like they're not at some unobtainable level of power anymore. You're all kind of operating within the same wheelhouse. Like if there was a lineup of badasses, you, Thrall, and Hogger are probably all getting picked at the same time. And maybe these two in particular are more acquaintances rather than homies, but I feel like you're all gonna get invited to that Kobold Candle Party. You all belong at the same places at this point. And really, the game doesn't really steer you towards them being gods or you being a chosen one or anything like that at this point. You really do just feel like party members linking up and helping each other help someone else. Like mostly what I remember with Thrall this expansion is we buddied up to go help an earthen lady realize her potential and become the leader of the Storm Riders or some shit like that. We were basically just electric wingmen. Uh, we were electric wingmen. See, because the dwarves, we help them get their storm mounts, and that makes us. Moira Magni and Prince Pencil-Ear play a large role in the Ringing Deeps storyline, where there is a concerted effort to uncover a treacherous plot that seems to be responsible for why the machine that recharges earthen body crystals doesn't work anymore. I don't really understand it. Like, astrology doesn't make sense to me. Okay, but that shit is here. Alright, there's witchery afoot. And this trio of weird dwarven clan family drama really seemed like the perfect ones to get in there and bust open some stone heads with. Because the Warcraft dwarves, their history is just rife with infighting and misunderstandings and odd abductions and marriages and children. I don't really get it, but they do. So you're thrown in with them, and they're sent in to uncover what's going on, why these earthen can't get boners anymore or whatever. Yeah, fucking earthen ladies can grow beards, but their dicks don't work no more, huh? What is going on? What's in the water? But what you end up doing is witnessing Magni find purpose again, and helping Moira and her son finally get a warm hug from the original Diamond Hands man himself. And all of that was done with your help as an adventurer, companion, lover, whatever you want to be to them. It's your choice, it's your story, make it up, roleplay. But again, you're helping them help others. It wasn't about you, it was about healing some internal wounds. I had to put it in there. The wounds! Anduin and Farron are probably the most trauma-filled of the bunch, but they also seem to be the most likely to feel like real companions. That's surely due in part to Hollowfall feeling like it's the most immersive of all the zones, probably of all time. And I get that there's a massive mood rock hanging from the ceiling and airships flying by with churches leaning off of stone cliff sides. All that aside, it still feels like it's the most likely place that you'd find a cozy fire to group up with your party around. Clearly, I liked it because I'm sitting here in this oddly lit cave underground, but it all makes a lot of sense thematically. It ties together really well. Anduin is trying to rekindle his command of the light, and the lamplighter Farron is helping him with that, as are we. We're there trying to help our boy find his courage again, get his groove back. The lamplighter is literally stoking the fires of light within him again, and that's so sweet and poetic for our sweet, sweet boy, and he can talk about it at his next book club meeting. And while we're helping our boy find his passion, we're fighting back against the literal encroaching shadows that are trying to force a stranglehold on these soldiers and farmers that had found themselves within this land. Could they have found a better place to plant corn? Yeah. But am I gonna do everything that I can to unceremoniously behead fish people that hurt this little girl's parents? Absolutely. And if you look for it, there's a significant amount of downtime and side stories devoted to fleshing out these characters a little bit more, giving you some insight into their ambitions, their fears, what they have to overcome, what they're working towards, or why they're even doing it. Anduin and Farron just seem the most like people, which, yeah, I get it, they're humans, right, in this fantasy world, of course they do. But they just talk to you like you're a normal-ass dude. And I get that Anduin can get to feeling extra sorry for himself or, whatever, but the guy was mind-controlled into an assassination. He's got some room to feel bad about it. I just don't get this whole, soy boy rhetoric that people push online coming from guys that look like they're made from corn syrup. I just don't get it. He's not acting any worse off than any other person would about losing a parent or something. He's sad. That's normal. Now, the biggest outlier is Miss Skaterboy herself. This is Illyria Windrunner, right? She's not so much the homie as much as she is the friend in the group who thinks no one understands her because she wears Jinkos and just discovered My Chemical Romance. She is kind of the closest thing to what our characters used to be. She has this chosen one energy, right? Where she's just a buffet full of angst, and she shows up to whip ass and has characters sticking their neck out for her to save her or give her the opportunity to look like a badass again. She'll ultimately stumble and fall, but make no mistake, she'll be there to pick herself up by her Doc Marten bootstraps once again. Every story needs a main character, sure, and you know what, she probably even deserves it. Just wish she didn't have so much main character energy and had more so energy of, I'll go throw dice with you in the back of Dornigal or something like that. I don't know, that whole eyeliner, eyeshadow shit she's got going on, are we saving Azeroth or are we saving Hot Topic? I don't know. Okay, that's the last of it. That's the last of the teen angst edgy jokes I'll make. Now I saved the best for last. Bran Bronzebeard, the man, the myth, the legend. The guy who watched Indiana Jones once and said, yep, that's my shit. I'll be taking that. He's obsessed with gold and treasure, and while his family's over there trying to figure out why rock dwarves have this personal hell of mystical shit, he doesn't care about any of that. You're traversing through these zones and popping into town after town, and there's Bran. Or maybe he sends you a letter and says, hey, I found a cave full of stuff that doesn't want to be bothered. Do you want to pop in and take everything they have? I do, Bran. Thank you for asking. He's the ultimate bro. He knows that I care about powerful armor, weapons, and trinkets, only to replace it with slightly more powerful armor, weapons, and trinkets. Bran's the epitome of, if he wanted to, he would, and he always does. I didn't have to ask. He just gets me. He knows me. He's my boy. He's looking out for me. He says, hey, do you want to go fuck shit up and get cool stuff? Yup. And just like that, my short pal and I are cruising through every cave in every zone, repossessing anything of value that isn't already ours. And he'll be whatever you need him to be. You need damage? He's popping heads. You need healing? He's slinging out drinks. Whether it's shooting or slurping, he's got you covered. He's the most dynamic character because he can be whatever you need him to be. The best kind of homie. Sure, he might stand just outside of range of the goofy-ass candle mechanic in the delve and take slow ticking damage until he dies, and he'll stand there slack-jawed looking like he just busted the biggest delve wide open and he needs his boy to come by and throw him a blue chew so that he can get back in the fight. He's just scurrying around, shooting guns, throwing dinosaur eggs. I don't know if this is the Flintstones, Indiana Jones, or what, but Bran fucking rules, dude. And if you have to go AFK because it's in the middle of your bi-weekly 17 minutes of WoW in between kids' soccer games, he doesn't give a shit. He's just gonna stand there. There's no timers, there's no rush, no worries. He doesn't care. He's the ultimate little hype man. He's just happy to be there and happy to be hanging out with you so that you can go bust open a little treasure hoard because he wants to see you dig through that chest and toss him a couple coins in return. He loves it. I didn't know too much about him before this, but I mean, we'll probably hang out. I might invite him to my birthday party. He could come to Chuck E. Cheese. I really appreciate my little hype man, even if he does constantly bitch about those Nerubian webs and it spawning tiny little spiders.
Those webs will summon Nerubians. Don't stand in them.
This has been a good time so far. I think this video is mostly about the homies of the War Within and how they kind of kick ass. Maybe a little quests and delves too, but you know, I like what we're pivoting into. I like that it's becoming more of a me and the boys approach. We're explorers, adventurers. We're just good Samaritans going to help out. Even if we start just fucking shit up, as long as we're doing it together, I'm okay with lighting people on fire. That's totally fine. I gotta get back to, you know, playing the game. I got cat pets and mounts to farm until the actual content drops in 2 fucking weeks. Wow. Anyway, I did make a little homie ditty for the end of this video, so if you like songs about banging with the boys, then there you go. I'll see you next time.
No!
champion, but no longer. What stands beside me makes me stronger. The world was heavy weighing on my shoulders. Got my homies with me now, and we're moving some boulders. A world revealed, a world of war. Deep within its caves, there's feelings and more. Back and delving into a forgotten land. Weapons so big, you know it takes two hands. We're swung up with 30 feet, thinks her plans are so grand. She didn't know that we just got back the band. It ain't just me, we're whipping ass for free. Every purple dress bitch added to my killing sprees. When the homies back me up, your end's a fucking guarantee. Fortune flows with me, and a mage for big crits. Paul and Jane are bringing back the original hits. Cutting through spiders, my blade turns red. Isle of Torture, call it Isle of Dead.
Even Moira brought the fam. Her pencil pushing son and dad, the diamond man. Some earthen trader steps up, thinks he has a little plan. He flopped over easy, turns out he's just a stand.
Now here comes Illyria, fighting back, solid attacks hysteria. Drawing back that bow, trying to put some fear in ya. She might be edgy, she might be dark, but I'll complete a quest, man, I need my spark. I'm back and delving into a forgotten land. Weapons so big, you know it takes two hands. Swim up with 30 feet, thinks her plans are so grand. She didn't know that we just got back the band. It ain't just me, we're whipping ass for free. Every purple dress bitch added to my killing sprees. When the homies back me up, your end's a fucking guarantee. Slinking through these caverns, heading to Hollow Fall. Shadows held back, a light bursting through the wall. Homie fearing in me, helping Edwin stand tall. The boy's getting his mojo back, that takes balls.
Save the best for last. Grand Bronze there to blast. When we clear caves, we do that shit fast. Got some webs we'll shoot, call it a cast.